Hey guys, this is Miss Kopak. So we're ready to read chapter 2 of 26 Fairmount Avenue. So you'll need your book open to page 9. Remember the last chapter, there was a big hurricane in Tommy's town of Meriden, Connecticut. And they also said that his family was building a new house on 26 Fairmount Avenue. So you're going to need your book and your packet. And just a few things that you're going to hear in this chapter. You're going to hear the word cement. Cement is basically the material that we use to make sidewalks, and it's also used in building homes. It starts off soft and then becomes hard over time. You're also going to hear the word cellar, which is another word for basement, the bottom level of a house. Sewing box. It is a box that you put all of your sewing materials in. A medicine cabinet is usually a cupboard or a cabinet in a house that we keep our medicine and other medical supplies in. And finally, you're going to hear this word laxative. Laxative is a type of medicine that you take to help you go to the bathroom. So, in other words, it makes you poop. And I'm sure you're giggling right now. All right, so open up to page 9 and we'll get started reading together. If I go too fast, you can always pause the video and then play it to rejoin me. So chapter 2 starts off, when my mom and dad decided to build a house, friends told them that they were building out in the sticks. That meant way out where not many people lived. There wasn't even a real street, just a dirt road. But it wasn't that far from our apartment on Columbus Avenue. It was really great watching the house being built. First, a steam shovel dug a huge hole for the foundation. Next, a cement truck came and workers poured the cement down a chute that looked like a long sliding board. Page 10. I pretended that the concrete gushing down was lava coming out of a volcano. I had seen that in a movie with my mother. After the foundation was set and the cellar was finished, the builders came to start on the house itself. They covered the opening over the cellar with wood, and that became the floor. Then they put up these things they called studs, which were pieces of wood called 2x4s, because they are 2 inches thick by 4 inches wide. They had just finished this part of the house when the hurricane struck. It was a good thing the walls weren't up yet, because the house probably would have blown away. A new house a few streets away was knocked down by the wind. All that was left was the cellar and a mess of broken wood. They had to start all over again. It was sad, but I was glad it wasn't our house. All our relatives were excited about the house at 26 Fairmount Avenue. I guess a new house with a big yard and a view of West Peak with Castle Craig on top was exciting. I know I thought it was. We had both Irish and Italian relatives in our family because my mom was Irish and my dad was Italian. The Irish relatives came to visit the most because they lived in Wallingford, which wasn't too far from Meriden. Some of the Italian relatives lived up in Massachusetts and some down in the Bronx in New York City. I was pretty lucky because I had one grandfather, 2 grandmothers, and a great-grandmother. But my grandmothers and my great-grandmother were all called Nana, and that was confusing to me. And then there was this great business. But I figured out what to call them, and everyone always knew who I was talking about. Now we're on page 12. I called my Irish great-grandmother Nana upstairs because she spent all of her time upstairs. She was 94 years old. I called my Irish grandmother Nana downstairs because if she wasn't helping Nana upstairs, she was either in the kitchen or sitting in her chair in the parlor, looking out the window so she'd know what was going on in the neighborhood. My Italian grandmother lived in Fall River, Massachusetts, so I called her Nana Fall River. I called my Irish grandfather Tom because he told me to. Tommy will be grown up before he can say grandpa, he told my mom. He can call me Tom. So I did. Every Sunday we went down to Wallingford. As soon as we arrived, I always ran upstairs. Upstairs was a special place for me, and my Nana upstairs was a special person to me. I loved her, and every Sunday I spent all my time with her. Nana downstairs would help Nana upstairs into the big Morris chair next to her bed. She'd take out a long cloth and gently tie Nana upstairs in her chair so she wouldn't fall out. I pestered and pestered Nana downstairs until she tied me in a chair too. But she'd put the knot in front so that if I got tired of being in the chair, I could get down and poke around or go to the bathroom or something. When I heard her coming up the stairs, I'd climb back into the chair. I got pretty good at tying the knot back, and she never came into the room until I was ready. It was Nana downstairs and my private game. Now we're on page 14. I loved to look around Nana upstairs' room. She had beautiful brushes and combs and glass jars that held her big silvery hairpins on top of her dresser. Sometimes I'd find candy mints or lifesavers in the sewing box on the table out in the hall. One Sunday, I opened the sewing box and there was no candy, only needles and thread and buttons. So I went searching very quietly. Finally, I got to the bathroom. I stood on the wooden toilet seat and opened up the medicine cabinet. There on the shelf was a small packet of chocolates, all wrapped in silver paper. I took them and went back into the bedroom. I tied myself back in my chair, and Nana upstairs and I ate the chocolates, all of them. Well, those chocolates weren't chocolates at all. They were laxatives, and laxatives make you go to the bathroom a lot. Both Nana upstairs and I didn't feel so good, and I think we both made a mess. Nana downstairs never forgot the mints or the lifesavers again. So it's a pretty silly chapter there. Go ahead and get your chapter 2 questions in your packet, and you'll want to answer the 4 questions. The first question says, which event happens first when Tommy's house is being built? A cement truck came. B, cement went down a chute from the cement truck. C, a steam shovel was used to dig a hole for the house foundation. Or D, the concrete looked like a gushing volcano. You can go back in the book to figure out the answer. Question 2. Why does Tommy's Nana upstairs tie him into the chair when he visits Nana upstairs? A, so he wouldn't fall out of the chair. B, so he could be the same as Nana upstairs. C, so he could learn to untie the knot. Or D, so he could sneak out and eat candy. Number 3, this chapter is important because A, Tommy ate too many chocolates. B, it introduces characters from Tommy's family. C, it shows that Tommy made up names for his grandparents. Or D, it introduces how much Tommy likes to eat candy with his Nana upstairs. And the last question, number 4, where did Tommy find the chocolates? A, on the table in the hall. B, in the sewing box. C, on top of her dresser. Or D, in the medicine cabinet. See you tomorrow when we read chapter 3 and chapter 4 together. Toodaloo, kangaroos.